What is eating Gilbert Grape? What the fuck is eating Gilbert Grape? What should be eating him is why the fuck did this goddamn interstellar object fall into our fucking solar system? What the hell is it? Where is it going? Turns out there is absolutely no brontosauruses. We don't have any brontosauruses. They mixed the bones up with the potosaurus. Two guys are competing against each other, and he was just like, took half the bones, mixed it with some other ones, called it a brontosaurus. Turns out that those bones that was to the brontosaurus goes to the potosaurus. That's what, so there's no brontosauruses, just potosauruses. The winter solstice is the shortest day of the year, the longest night, shortest day for the northern hemisphere. So nothing's ever fallen into it, not a planet, not a sun, not a black hole, not a satellite, not a pencil, not a, car, a tire, nothing. Nothing has gone through our solar system ever. The High-Feely-Keating experiment is a test of relativity. So October 1971, you had Joseph C. High-Feely, I don't know, Keating's easier to remember, but the 1971 time dilation experiment, you had 4 cesium beam atomic clocks aboard commercial airliners. Cannot be seen, nor electrons. We've never seen electrons, we've never seen quarks. You're going to try to tell me this shit's real? Now they're saying that there's circumstantial evidence and perhaps, but the most important thing is that it's a model that has worked for many years. And so even gravity is bullshit, but Newton's equations are very simple and they estimate very closely. They're good guesstimates. And Einstein's relativity is so much more complicated. Why not just do a nice simple gravity equation? You just need a distance, a couple of the mass, weight, and then that's it. Then you're done. Then you're done. So it's a quark of quarks that you can't see them, but apparently everywhere quantum mechanics has been used, it has worked and been successful, even more reliable than relative gravitational pull. Voyager 1 is the only one we've sent into outer space. It's the only one we've sent into the interstellar medium. Just one fucking aircraft. So if aliens do discover us, their technology will be fucking light years in front of ours. So it only covered 1/600th of a light year in 30 years. That's correct. And the one atomic clock was one at rest, one was on an airplane going with the rotation of the Earth, and then another one was flying the opposite of the rotation of the Earth. And what was found was the faster that you went, the slower time went. It was only by 250 nanoseconds, but the plane that was going with the Earth's rotation had the first interstellar object ever. It was barreling through, the first one that was discovered. That's what all the press is saying. I dug deep. That's actually not the case, but it's close to the case. There's about 10 interstellar objects that fly through our solar system that's undetected according to the planet formation models. Suggests that 1 to 10 interstellar objects pass through our solar system every year. We haven't seen them because they tend to be faint and fast. New tools like the Pan-STARRS survey finally caught one that happened to pass especially close to the sun. Non-periodic Shoemaker-Levy comets are interleaved in this sequence. So they name probably about 10 of them here. A periodic comet can mean a comet with a periodic orbit, even if it's more than 200 years. So a comet can be circling around the solar system for Muamua, that interstellar object, first one ever, apparently, right, which is bullshit. There's probably about a dozen specific ones that I was able to find, and then estimates about 10 every year. So we get 10 asteroids, blazing past Earth that might wipe out all humanity. I think that might be something we want to pay attention to, because we should knock that fucking asteroid out of its orbit before it gets that close. Now, that being said, 96% of the object, it was very, very dark. So they couldn't even see it until 5 days after it had passed Earth. So 96% of it was very dark, but the 4% was red. There is a reddish hue, which means that there is organic carbon-based molecules. Organic molecules are the building blocks of the biological molecules that allow life to function. So carbon, it could have life on it. It could have nothing. There's a reason why all these scientists are losing their goddamn minds about this, because this is fucking history. This is scientific history. This is history that transcends politics, that transcends all time. When Copernicus says that the Earth rotates around the sun, what are you going to pretend like that ain't the truth? You're going to, what? He said it out, it's like Napster, right? Once you let that cat out of the bag, once you open up that Pandora's box. So there's about 10 of them. I'll actually list the specific ones. But first, let's ask some questions. I think you should be asking yourselves, Americans, Earthlings, a lot of questions right now. Okay? So what? Shit just never falls into our solar system? Only 10 fucking rocks? Not ever? No solid, no icy objects, no cubes, no dust, no wind, no radiation, nothing? Not a goddamn thing. Nothing. Cigarette lighter was actually invented before the match was. The friction-based match. Cigarette lighters were invented before the matches. Astronomical unit is the distance from the sun to the earth. So light years is just such a big number, 186,000 miles per second. Who the fucking 300,000 kilometers per second? Who the hell can even fathom that? It looks instantaneous to us. You flip a light on, you light a fire, you see something that emits light. It seems like it instantly jumps from the object, if it has enough light or energy to get to you, straight into your eyeball. But one astronomical unit seems very useful because you can think about the distance from the sun to the earth, which is very, very far. It takes 8 minutes for sunlight to get to the earth. It only takes 1.2 seconds or 1 or 2 seconds for light to go from Earth to the moon, or vice versa. But 8 minutes for it to get from the sun to the earth. And for the that we have seen, the asteroids, the comets, they're still in our solar system. The sun's gravitational, the curvature of space-time has encapsulated them. They're going around their geodesic circles. All asteroids previously seen come within the solar system, circle the sun. Even the comets, they come from a distant reservoir of icy rocks in the solar system called the Oort cloud, and have highly tilted orbits, yet they still orbit the sun. So highly tilted, so very like elongated ellipses, right? So that's the deal, right? That's the fucking deal. So nothing's ever fallen into it, not a planet, not a sun, not a black hole, not a satellite, not a pencil, not a, car, a tire, nothing. Nothing has gone through our solar system ever. Non-periodic Shoemaker-Levy comets are interleaved in this sequence. C1991 B1 between 2 and 3. C1991 T2 between 5 and 6. 1993 K1. And then C1994 E2 after Shoemaker-Levy 9. So I don't exactly know what all those numbers mean, but at the very least, what I do know that those number means is that there's 4 or 5 other interstellar objects that we have discovered. 91, 91, 93, 94. And then there was actually another one, which I'm not sure where it's at, but it was the most popular one. And the guy, I think, discovered it in 84, but it actually got close to Earth in 82. And they was like, no, it's actually coming back. It went around Jupiter and it's coming back. No, these comets, these whatever, what is eating Gilbert Grape? What the fuck is eating Gilbert Grape? What should be eating him is why the fuck did this goddamn interstellar object fall into our fucking solar system? What the hell is it? Where is it going? Where'd it come from? And how come we didn't notice it until after it passed? How come we don't have anything falling into the solar system? The fucking solar system is gravitational, right? It's pulling this shit in. It's keeping all these fucking rocks and shit in. And yet there's no fucking space trash. There's nothing that goes within the heliopause. Nothing in the interstellar medium. space trash just floating about here and there, and then it slowly gets into the event horizon of the solar system and then just falls into the thing and then comes barreling down, you know. This thing came within 40 lunar distances. So it's, the possibility of it slamming into Earth was very real, which means February 2008, the C-1980E1, which is Edward L.G. Bow, Edward's Comet. So they name it with numbers like they don't want anybody to fucking know, but we'll all remember Edward's Comet. Nah, remember Edward's Comet? It came around. It's named C-1980E1. So it came, right? It did not conquer. It did not see. It just kept on going. They said that it wasn't interstellar because it's coming back around because we have all these, 200-year comets with these really long eclipses. But then they, measured it. It's fucking going out. It's flying past. It's going like faster than the escape velocity. So it's not going to, the perihelion, it got closest to the sun March 12, 1982. Just 1 month after my birthday. Here since the epoch of March 4th, 1977, C-1980E1 has a barycentric eccentricity greater than 1, keeping it on a hyperbolic trajectory that will eject it from the solar system. So it was hyperbolic. That was what this Oumuamua, right? Oumuamua, like a cow, right? Oh, moo, moo, But it's better, it's a dumb name, but it's actually better branding than CK9VP16490. So C-1980E1 versus Edward's Comet. So we've had another interstellar object. It was called Edward's Comet, and its perihelion had happened in 1982 in March, and it's going out of the solar system. Cowboy boots are high heels for men. May 1995, the comet was 30 AUs from the sun, so it's astronomical units, and astronomical units, the distance between the sun and the earth. So 30 times that distance away from the sun in 1995 is where Edward's Comet is. Then Edward's Comet, February 2008, it was more than 50 astronomical units from the sun. So just factor that's 20 different astronomical units. Right? 20 more units from the sun to the earth. You can measure that, get a trajectory, and see if it's going faster than the escape velocity. It says the production of OH hydroxide was observed pre-perihelion while the comet was nearly 5 AU from the sun. So they actually saw this thing coming beforehand. I don't know. CN cyanide was not detected until the comet was near the perihelion. So it seems like they knew all about this thing. The comet nucleus was estimated to have a radius of, in 2737 BC, tea was discovered in China by the emperor because he was boiling some water, some tea leaves blow into the water, and then he drinks it and he says, "Eureka, this shit's delicious." And then tea was, awesome. Everybody loved it then. So that's 2737 BC. That's nearly 5,000 years ago in China. The clock, there is time dilation, which means that the people who were on the plane going along with the Earth's rotation, so they're going super fast. They weren't going just the speed of the plane. They were going, with the speed of the plane and with the Earth. So they were going super fast for humans. Not like the speed of light fast, but pretty fast. And so the faster that you go, the slower time goes. The slower time goes. So for the people, they had one clock at the United States Naval Observatory and another clock in the plane going eastward and then the plane going westward. And the predictions of special and general relativity held out. Ives Stilwell experiment in time dilation of moving particles are also experienced. In 1969, actor Samuel L. Jackson held Martin Luther Sr. hostage in college, and the it was several kilometers wide. So this was only 41 stories wide, which that's not even a mile, is it? The Oumuamua, but Edwards Comet was several kilometers wide. So I think it was only a quarter of a mile. For Oumuamua, Edwards Comet was several kilometers, which is about a mile, so several miles. The radius, so the diameter would have been bigger. And then it has a surface crust a few meters thick, probably, it says. We're using spectroscopy and thermal modeling. We found another solar system with 8 orbiting planets like our own in the Kepler 90 system, 5,500 light years away, and optical SETI, C-E-T-I, and the automated planet finder on page 3, the second halves. The West Virginia thing, the fully steerable radio telescope on the planet, they're looking for radio. The stars to our solar system, to the sun, to the Earth, the American solar system. So the closest star to the American solar system is Alpha Centauri constellation. There's 3 Alpha Centauris, A, B, and C. And C is actually the closest one, so it'd be Proxima Centauri. The Sun-like star, the fastest outward-bound spacecraft yet sent, the only one that's actually broke out of the solar system's pull, gravity, its so-called gravitational pull. Voyager 1 is the only one we've sent into outer space. It's the only one we've sent into the interstellar medium. Just one fucking aircraft. So if aliens do discover us, their technology will be fucking light years in front of ours. So it only covered 1/600th of a light year in 30 years. That's Andromeda and Milky Way. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, and Andromeda, the galaxy which is closest to us, is going to collide. And then we're all going to circle, and it's going to become one big star, one black hole, or whatever the fuck goes on with these damn galaxies. So, prepare yourself for the collision with the Andromeda galaxy. Any planet within 10 light years of a supernova is going to be destroyed. So that Cygnus red dwarf, is that what it was? Red dwarf? No, red nova. The red nova star, the exploding red nova binary stars in the Cygnus constellation, it's farther than 10 light years away. It's actually 1,800 light years away. So we won't be affected by it because the 1,800 is bigger than 10. But if there is an exploding supernova, Voyager 1 been sent towards Proxima Centauri, the closest sun, which is 4.3 light years away. At the rate it's going 1/18,000th the speed of light. At this rate, a journey to Proxima Centauri would take 80,000 years. 80,000 years, that's not too bad, actually. You have Stephen Hawking. He said the fastest that we can get to Proxima Centauri with the technology that we have now is 10,000 years. It's a briefer history of time, Stephen Hawking, page 4. So the Alpha Centauri, also named Rigil Kentaurus, B or C, Proxima Centauri. We can get to Proxima Centauri in 10,000 years. They're talking about pushing a sail with a laser, and that'll go 20% the speed of light. So get to the point. What the hell am I going on and on about? So the first interstellar object, a friend of mine had just asserted that they knew exactly the reason why no objects has ever fallen into the solar system. So it's like, first, oh yeah, duh. What do you mean? Yeah, we've never had any interstellar objects. I knew that. I knew that the whole time. Yeah, no, I knew. There's never been any interstellar objects. Never. Ever. And I knew that. And what's the reason? Oh, well, because the gravitational pull of all the other stars. Yeah, no, the gravitational pull of all the other stars gives us this little protection bubble. It's common sense. I've known this the whole time. Duh, this is totally easy. This is totally simple. Are you stupid? Do you not know anything? This is so obvious. So I had a lot of questions about that. I am not so certain. That's a theory. It's a theory. These stars keep all the trash out of our solar system. That's why nothing ever falls into our solar system. One total lunar eclipse in North America, also Australia, Eastern Asia, Pacific Ocean, January 31st. So at the end of January, we're going to see a total lunar eclipse. So you have that looking, something to look forward to. Now, there does seem to be, perhaps there's like a protective force field around the solar system that's preventing anything. He's saying it's the stars. The closest galaxy is the Andromeda Galaxy, so perhaps the Andromeda Galaxy is stealing all the trash that would have fallen into, the solar system. Instead, it's going to the Andromeda system. It's going out of the Milky Way. Maybe there's other things in the Milky Way, right? That's a competing galaxy. Perhaps it's Proxima Centauri. Maybe they're just, that solar system is taking all of our trash. I just think it's, I doubt it, okay? So that's one part of it, but I feel like space is so vast and it's so huge that perhaps just, by chance, eventually something's going to come, but if we're all expanding at the speed of light, right, if the space is just getting bigger and bigger, then perhaps the interstellar medium is just so wide and there's so little trash out there that nothing ever gets caught up in the solar. General relativity predicts an additional effect in which an increase in gravitational potential due to altitude speeds the clock up. So just to bring the point home, considering the Hafeel-Keating experiment in a frame of reference at rest with respect to the center of the Earth, a clock aboard the plane moving eastward in the direction of the Earth's rotation had a greater velocity, resulting in a relative time loss than one that remained on the ground, while a clock aboard the plane moving westward against the Earth's rotation had a lower velocity than the one on the ground. So, same deal. The one that was going super fast had 250 nanometers or so, and then the one going westward had 50 nanometers off. So it was still, the time was still going slower, but not as slow as the one going, eastward. Some kind of radiation field that just repulses anything and everything, that one seems less likely. I don't think the gravitational pull of the three Centauri stars or any stars are pulling the interstellar objects away from the solar system, therefore protecting us, preventing any from getting through. This is the first one that we've detected. They've estimated maybe 10. Maybe there's more, just because we've never seen them doesn't mean they don't exist, right? We've never seen electrons. We've never seen quarks. We've never seen gravity. Whatever, everybody, all these damn scientists keeps on telling us it's real. They've never seen it, but it's all real, right? So perhaps we've had shit tons of interstellar objects flying into our solar system and we've never detected. So there's another theory. The Jupiter, a lot of things get stuck in Jupiter's orbit, and so actually Jupiter does clean up our solar system a lot, because instead of it coming into Earth, it just, goes around Jupiter instead. The limit of the solar system, we've only sent out one interstellar object. Only Voyager 1 is the only thing that's gotten out of our solar system and into the interstellar medium. So we've only sent one object, one thing from humanity that has actually gone out to explore the cosmos. And so the distance from the sun to the interstellar medium, how long do you have to go in order to escape? What's the escape velocity in order to get out of the solar system? How far must you go? So the length of the solar system is 122 astronomical units. So remember, astronomical units is the distance from the sun to the Earth. Multiply that by 122. And the distance from the sun to the Earth is 93 million miles and or 150 million kilometers. So 122 astronomical. 5 other theories besides that Proxima Centauri is still, hey, Proxima Centauri, quit stealing our interstellar objects. Actually, I hope they keep on taking it if that's the fucking case. All right, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we need a black hole like just right next door, so, all the trash that gets flushed into it and never ever bothers us. I do think we should have nuked that damn thing. We should have gone Armageddon on this thing. It could have knocked us out. It could have caused an extinction. We could have knocked Earth out of its orbit. We'd be goners. We'd be goners. And so that's pretty scary. Everybody else got their thumb up their fucking ass when the entire world, the entire planet, we almost went extinct. We almost went extinct. You need to ask a couple questions, Earthlings. Are you paying attention? Ask a couple questions. And don't pretend like you fucking know everything, because this is scientists. Stephen Hawking, they don't even know what's going on. Skunk can spray a person 10 feet away, accurately, 10 feet away, He's aiming that ass straight for you. That stank, you skank, is going to make your skank stank even more skankily. Eminem doesn't allow profanity in his house because he's a motherfucking hypocrite. Alligators have been around for 150 million years. How long you been around here, Gator? Where you from? You ain't from around here, are you? Oh, 150 million years. Okay. Pope John II carried out 2 exorcisms. In 1910, a 380-mile river-to-river road in Iowa, you had 10,000 farmers construct a road in just 1 hour. In 1910, 10,000 farmers constructed a 380-mile river-to-river. James Gordon show, whatever that late night host guy is, Neil deGrasse Tyson, I actually think heard say that it wasn't going out of our solar system because we've never had this thing, so this is a unique thing. No solid or icy objects, no rocks, dust, wind, radiation, nothing, ever. The sun is a tiny star, so maybe that's it, right? It's a tiny star in the big, vast galaxy, so this tiny little star just doesn't, it doesn't have enough power, it doesn't have enough influence to get. And that's a good thing. I just want to know what the reason is. So perhaps Earth's solar system's gravitational pull couldn't compete with Andromeda, or Proxima Centauri, or Regal Centaurus. Oh, rival Centaurus. It came from Lyra, so maybe the Lyranians. I don't know. So the pushing a sail through space with a laser goes at the 20% of light. That's the case, right? Let's see where all these stars are at in the galaxy. This is over 4 light years away. 4.2 light years away. 1.3 parsecs. I don't know. I like light years and I like astronomical units. I'm not for sure what these parsecs are. But Alpha Centauri C, a red dwarf, a small low-mass star, is 4.25 light years away from the sun in the constellation of Centaurus. So that's over 268,000 astronomical units, which, put it into layman parlance, the distance from us to Neptune, multiply that by 9,000 times. So it's over 4 light years away. But apparently, Proxima Centauri is stealing all of our trash. It's 4 light years away. If there was a red nova, supernova, it would take us about 100 different atoms in the universe. So all of life can be constructed by just 100 atoms. So we don't even need the periodic table anymore, right? So we need an atom chart. Only 100 atoms can make everything in the entire galaxy. 100 different atoms in the universe, and that's it. What is gravity? Neil deGrasse Tyson was asked. He says, I have no idea. Okay, next question. Oh, okay, Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't even know what gravity is. Does that concern anybody else? And the interviewer is like, wow, and then he explains. He goes, okay, here's the difference. We can describe gravity. We can say what it does to other things. We can measure it, predict with it, but when you start asking what it is, he doesn't know. An Einsteinian answer is that gravity is the curvature of space and time, and objects will follow the curvature of space-time, and we interpret it to be in the Cygnus constellation in 2022. You're going to have the red nova, a red nova, which is different than a supernova. I don't know exactly how. They both have nova in their name. But a supernova gets fucking huge, and it just, blows up. And it takes about anything that's within 10 light years in its path, it'll wipe out. So if Alpha Centauri becomes a supernova, if Barnard Star, if Lumen 16, those are the 3 closest stars to the sun. Lumen, Luhman. Lumen 16, it's 6.5 light years away, 2 parsecs from the sun. Barnard Star, it's the second closest star to the American sun, and it's 6 light years away. And then Alpha Centauri C, 4.25 light years. So it's close enough. If it blew up to take Barnard Star, right? You know about Barnard Star and Alpha Centauri C and Lumen 16. How could you not? Those are the 3 closest stars to us. If we're going to go discover, extraterrestrial life That's going to be your first candidates. They might have some planets going around their star system. The Centauri star system has 3 stars, and that's going on around it. So my point with the supernova thing, it wipes out anything within 10 light years in its path, and light years is distance, not time. So 4.256.6.5 light years are all under 10 light years. So if a supernova could wipe us all out, then perhaps their gravitational pull is, within maybe the halfway mark. So within, 2 light years away, anything that's closer to Proxima Centauri than the solar system, they have a greater chance of taking it. But that's 2 light years. There are 4 laws of thermodynamics. Okay, so the 4 laws of thermodynamics. The 0th law is if 2 thermodynamic systems are in thermal equilibrium with a third, then they are in thermal equilibrium with each other. So 2 systems are in equilibrium with the third, then that means these 2 are the same. First law of thermodynamics. Milky Way has about 200 to 400 billion stars, so we have billions, if not trillions, of galaxies, and in each one of those galaxies, we got billions, if not trillions, of individual stars. So we got trillions upon trillions of stars, these big balls of burning gas that, can possibly support life all throughout the universe. So statistically speaking, there's other life out there. There's other life. There's life on fucking comets and shit. There's water, and there's signs of life on Mars. I think they found bacteria on Mars. So it's mathematically, it's impossible for aliens to not exist. So 9.5 trillion kilometers or 5.9 trillion miles is a light year. So within 2 light years, all the solar system, all the trash that can be caught up in the solar system, we're going to take it, not the other star. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So that's similar to a different. It can only change forms. In any process, the total energy of the universe remains the same. For a thermodynamic cycle, the net heat supplied to the system equals the net work done by the system. The second law of thermodynamics, the entropy of an isolated system not in equilibrium will tend to increase. The Andromeda Galaxy is a spiral galaxy approximately 780 kiloparsecs, 2.5 million light years away from Earth. It's the nearest major galaxy to the Milky Way. Now, the Milky Way, we're a galaxy, so we got 200 to 400 billion stars. It's a spatial bar. It's a spiral bar. So you got a bar in the middle, and then you got that weird spiral, and then this spiral. Fucking cool. And then we're told that, God's asshole, Sagittarius A star, is the black hole that holds it all together. I mean, I don't know how they know this shit, but they seem pretty confident. So it's pretty remarkable stuff. The Andromeda Galaxy spans 220,000 light years wide. So it's really fucking far away. It's really fucking big. The Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies are expected to collide in 4.5 billion years, merging to form a new bulletproof graphene. There's a paper-thin material that gets harder than diamonds on impact. So as soon as something hits this little piece of paper, this bulletproof graphene, it automatically becomes harder than diamonds upon impact. So it's not as hard until it gets hit, and then when it gets hit, it automatically gets, harder than diamonds. And diamonds is the hardest substance. I think there might be another rock out there, but that's only one test of its durability and strength. It also shatters in a bunch of pieces if you break it, so I think, Now, relativity, it cannot be used to find the center of a black hole. Quantum mechanics, however, has been verified everywhere it's been used. So relativity has its limit. Magnitude of Andromeda is 3.4, so it's actually one of the brightest of the messier objects, making it visible to the naked eye on moonless nights, even when viewed from areas with moderate light pollution. A light year is a unit of length used to express astronomical distances, so 5.9 trillion miles. So essentially, the closest star isn't going to steal our trash if it's past 2 light years away. 2 light years would be 12 trillion miles. So within 12 trillion miles, no other stars are going to steal any of our trash. So now the question is there no objects that fly within the solar system within 12 trillion miles? For 12 trillion miles, from the sun all the way out, for 12 trillion miles, there's no other space trash, no interstellar objects, no comets, or the exploding red nova star in the Cygnus constellation that's going to blow up in 2022. It's 4 years from now. So the Cygnus red nova is going to happen in 4 years in the Cygnus constellation. You got these 2 stars that just keeps on circling around each other, right? They start big and then they get closer and closer and then boom! And we'll see a slight little, a little spangle, a little extrastellar spangle. That light actually gets to us 1,800 years later. So that light is, the actual explosion happened 1,800 years. That's the Tyson's answer to gravity. What is gravity? He doesn't know. You can use it, you can predict with it, just like the electron, just like a quark. We've never actually seen them, but all physicists agree that we have electrons, so it's a good model. Gravity with Einstein's theory throws gravity out into the fucking, trash heap. And it says that there is no gravity and that it's just space-time. We got 4 dimensions. One of the dimensions is space-time. And so what gravity is the dance between matter and space. So matter tells space how to curve. Put a big bowling ball on a trampoline and then the trampoline sinks in. So matter tells the space how to curve, but then the space tells matter how to move. So if you have a big cone, then the Earth just goes around its geodesic disk, the little circular disk, and it just, so real quick, the light year is the distance that light travels in a vacuum, which is impossible, but for theoreticists, you can imagine that. Come on, in 1 Julian year, so for 365.25 days. So how long does light travel in 365.25 days? So it's a precise thing. It's just a big-ass fucking distance, but it's also the speed of light. It's absolute, and nothing could go faster than the speed of light. So it's good that we know, I guess astronomical units. I'd like that a little bit better. But ultimately, we need to be prepared for all these Oumuamuas and these comets and interstellar fucking objects that come within 40 lunar distances from the Earth. We should have blown Oumuamua out of the fucking sky, but we didn't even know about Oumuamua until 5 days later. And we've had 10 to maybe 20 or 30 other interstellar objects we didn't even detect. L. Jackson is going to get expelled from the historically black Morehouse College in 1969 for locking the board members in a building for 2 days in protest of the school's curriculum and governance. Included in that group of people was Martin Luther King Jr.'s father, Martin Luther King Sr. There's a secret ocean under the Earth's surface that could fill our oceans up 3 times over. There's an underground secret ocean. We got an underground secret ocean underneath the world's surface that could refill our oceans up 3 times over. So the ocean underneath the Earth's surface is bigger than all the oceans on the Earth's surface combined times 3. Anybody going to Antarctica during the winter should have their appendix removed. Just trust me on that one. A strong laser, some kind of photon laser beam shot, a nuclear weapon, right? We could have shot something at this thing to prevent it. But even just the space around Earth and the sun is so fucking big and vast that the best technology that we got to detect all these flying rocks out in the night sky didn't even detect this one until it was too late, and it doesn't detect, the majority of them, probably at least 10 every year. And how long has this been in operation? Let's say 3 years, so that's at least 30 interstellar objects that got past our technology that, we got our eye on things, but we only got like a tiny little eye like over here. So if we're able to detect these interstellar objects, we could prevent a catastrophe from happening. Now, some people might say the residual effects. If you nuke it, then it might, there's other things that could happen too. So, but being ignorant about it, close The faint binary star called KIC 9832227 because astronomers don't want anybody to know what the fuck is going on, so they name all this shit a bunch of numbers. So I'm just going to call it the exploding red nova stars. The exploding red nova binary star in the Cygnus constellation is going to blow up in 2022, and it's real far, so we barely will feel we won't even feel the effects. We will barely even see the effects, but we'll see that nonetheless. And so 4 years from now, the faint binary star KIC 9832227 is going to spin, blow up, and we're going to see an extrastellar spangle. So we're predicting this. This is the thing that's so amazing about this, is we're predicting this 4 years in the future, even though it happened 1,800 years ago. Our planet Earth, even though Christians think we've only been around here for 6,000 years, Earth has been around for 4.5 billion. 4.5 billion years is how long Earth has been at least in existence. But some people say 6,000 years. No, it's been 4.6 billion. And in that 4.6 billion years, there's been at least 5 great mass extinctions that most scientists agree on, and they're calling our age the 6th mass extinction with global warming and the shit that we're doing to our... So there's the Permian-Triassic extinction event, the Triassic-Jurassic extinction event, the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event, the Ordovician-Silurian extinction events, the late Devonian extinction. The first one was 2.4 billion years ago, the Great Oxidation. The entropy of an isolated system not in equilibrium will tend to increase over time, approaching a maximum value at equilibrium. That's the second law of thermodynamics. First law is a thermodynamic cycle. The net heat supplied to the system equals the net work done by the system. So energy cannot be created nor destroyed. Third energy of thermodynamics is temperature approaches absolute zero. The entropy of a system approaches a constant minimum. So those are the 4 laws of thermodynamics. There's Maxwell's equations. Faraday's equation is a modification and generalization of Faraday's law that states that a time-varying magnetic field will always accompany a spatially varying non-consecutive electric field and vice versa. The Maxwell-Faraday equation is this upside-down triangle multiplied by E. Earth in this solar system, in this universe, with the life and the water and essentially as is, right? We have been knocked out of orbit. It changes kind of with just a big fucking rock, right? So if you knocked Earth out of its orbit, it's just a damned asteroid, and everything's going to die. So then it just becomes a rock floating out and about. So we've had about 5, at the very least. Everybody agrees that we've had 5 mass extinction events. Where we probably had more, dozen or so. Earth has been around for a long time, 4.6 billion years, and Earth has seen 5 mass extinction events where everybody dies. The last major one, 65 million years ago, was that asteroid or comet that landed in the Yucatan in the Central America that wiped out the dinosaurs. So a meteor, most people agree on this, a meteor. Mosquitoes kill 1 million human beings every year. And yet, they're not the worst killers of humans out there. Jimmy Carter was the first U.S. president born in a hospital. Not JFK, not LBJ, not Nixon, not Truman, not Eisenhower, nor FDR, nor Calvin motherfucking Coolidge. None of them were born in a hospital. Jimmy Carter was the first one. Nancy Reagan, she had her own Rasputin. She had a telephone installed in her White House office so she could call a psychic directly. She specifically installed that phone for the psychic. So Nancy Reagan listened to psychics. We won't have a total solar eclipse again this year, but there are 3 partial solar eclipses and 2 total lunar dangers we got to look out for, right? Volcanoes can do shit, and nuclear war can, the natural things, the gamma rays, solar flares. The worst I've heard solar flares doing is turning off all of our technology. And so I guess that's the majority of them right there. So in terms of interstellar big events that could knock us out, we should look out for these damn meteors. If we can prevent gamma rays or solar, whatever I just said, solar flares and asteroids and meteors from wiping us out, we should do that. That's the whole point of a species, is to continue to survive. So intergalactic space, interstellar medium, interstellar radiation. I don't know if there's any radiation. I don't know why all this stuff. I think basically we're not detecting most of it. Jupiter catches a bunch of it. And then space is, it's wide. So there's 2 trillion miles, 12 trillion miles of interstellar medium that there are no competing stars. So from the sun to 12 trillion miles away, no star is going to take our trash away. It's going to stay there. It's going to stay floating in it. We don't have any pull. The solar system doesn't have any pull at 12 trillion miles away, but no star system has any pull either. So nothing is pulling on this trash up to 12 trillion miles away. The event horizon is the heliopause. That's the crust of the solar system. And there's also a magnetic field distance of it. We don't know anything about really outer space, the intergalactic space, the interstellar medium, except for Voyager 1. We only got one fucking aircraft that broke out of the heliopause into interstellar medium. We've only got one aircraft that's done that. So only one that's experienced all these effects. Only one. I believe it was 220 astronomical units. So really Voyager 1's gone 139 astronomical units. So that's, hasn't got out yet. Proxima Centauri, 4.24 light years away, 268,000 astronomical units nearest star and exoplanets, Proxima Centauri. Voyager 1 is about 19 light hours away, 139 astronomical units. Neptune is 30 astronomical units away. Venus is 0.28, 2.41 light minutes away. The sun is 8 light minutes away, 1 astronomical unit away, and the moon is 1.3 light seconds away. It's only 0.0026 astronomical units. So 1.3 seconds it takes light from the moon to get. That's it. That's as far as I know. Keep asking questions, keep researching, keep learning. There's other questions that I want to know. The whole religion versus science. I'm so sick of that conversation. Give me, relativity versus gravity. Do you know what gravity is? It's bullshit. Einstein says gravity is bullshit. There's no such thing as gravity. And he also says that time, there's no such thing as absolute time. Light is constant. It's absolute. And there's nothing else is faster than time. He's got some, pretty wide range, and he also says that the only way we're going to make any more great discoveries, because he can never find the great unified theory, is if we ferret out another fact from nature. And that's always true with anything, right? You can have like 1 or 2 pieces of evidence, and you could, glean a whole bunch of information from it, but until you got like 3 or 4 or 5, it doesn't really tell a whole picture. So maybe we could find some more principles that probably know where the heliopause is. It's like the surface tension. It's like the Reynolds wrap. It's the thin skin. It's like Donald Trump's thin skin. It's the very last threshold to cross before you get into the interstellar medium. How far do you got to go from the sun to get out into outer space, out of the gravitational, we'll just say gravity of the sun? How far do you got to go? 122 astronomical units. You have to go past the gravity, past the electromagnetic pole, and just the Voyager 1 broke free from the repressive gravitational curvature of space-time when the Voyager passed the region beyond the heliopause. The heliopause is that surface tension. It's the boundary where the sun's solar wind is stopped by the interstellar medium. Off with a bunch of facts now. Vitamin C, your body doesn't make it, so you got to make sure you get some vitamin C into that B. In 2012, there's an online game site called Fold It. They put a challenge to the team groups to figure out the folding sequence of a particularly complicated protein strand, which is critical to the virulence of the AIDS virus. 20-plus years of laboratory and university research failed to accomplish the task so far. But the power of solidarity, when people all put their minds on something. One of the folded teams won the challenge within 2 weeks. The FCC just approved the first wireless power at a distance charging system. The watt-up midfield transmitter refills batteries from 3 feet away. The transmitter converts electricity into radio frequencies, then beams the energy to nearby devices outfitted with a corresponding receiver. This differs from the resonant induction method that the PI wireless charging system relies on, which our technology is increasing, is at an exponential rate. We should be afraid of artificial intelligence. Facebook, the algorithm already, made up its own language. It's exponential. So I think we should ride the curve. If you understand what's going on, you're not going to be like, the Luddites, just, oh my God, I'm so scared. Technology is a tool that makes your life better. So a fork, are you going to be anti-fork, anti-knife, anti-plate, anti-cup, right? No, I'm anti-technology. They're a tool. Man, if we want to, first we got to make sure they stay obedient to the humans. And, they're a tool. So I want the arguments that I want to see from now on is scientific arguments. Fuck theology and the religious bullshit. The Brontosaurus, the biggest, one of the, besides the T-Rex, you got the T-Rex, the Brontosaurus, the pterodactyl, and then that Neil deGrasse Tyson, he says all quantum physics transcends our personal experiences. So it seems like it goes against common sense when you look at things on a molecular atom level. Now there's a quantum theory, but just in terms of just quantum, looking at the small, there's nothing wrong with looking at the small. That's how solar panels work. You have a solar panel, light hits the thing, electron pops out, and then it goes all around. Even though electrons and quarks have never been seen, don't focus on the word so much as the idea. The electron representation, the fact that it has worked for such a long time. Model-dependent realism says, therefore, it is effective. Quarks cannot be seen. We have a quark named strangeness, up, down, bottom, top, strange, charmed. These are Faraday's law of induction. The voltage induced in a closed loop is proportional to the rate of change of the magnetic flux that the loop encloses. So Gauss's law, the electric flux leaving a volume is proportional to the charge inside. That's Gauss's law. The electric flux leaving a volume is proportional to the charge inside. Gauss's law for magnetism. There are no magnetic monopoles. The total magnetic flux through a closed surface is zero. The Ampere's circuital law with Maxwell's addition. The magnetic loop induced around a closed loop is proportional to the electric current plus displacement current rate of change of electric field that the loop encloses. Historical evidence for Gilgamesh than there is for Jesus Christ. So while people are saying, there is a Santa, there ain't a Santa, there is a God, there ain't a God, there is an Easter Bunny, there ain't an Easter Bunny, playing this stupid-ass games. What are you, fucking a child? What are you, 5 fucking years old? And you don't even know about gravity. I mean, you're still debating evolution, right? So you don't know shit about relativity if you're still debating evolution. And Brontosaurus is one of the main, let's argue about it. 7, 8 years ago, they said that Brontosauruses are not real, but then I found another article where they're kind of saying, no, hold on. There are 3 known species, right? The Brontosaurus exilis, and the Brontosaurus parvus, and the Brontosaurus yanapin. So Brontosaurus did exist, and then it did not exist, and then it did exist again. So are Brontosauruses real? Well, if you don't know shit about Gilgamesh, and his colleagues Octavio Matias and Roger Benson detailed their findings online April 7th in Pure J. The last thing I want to mention, we just had Christmas. It's the winter solstice, right? 25 other birthdays. It's not Jesus' birthday. Get the fuck out of here. It's Saturnalia. It's the Christ Mass. It's the Coca-Cola Santa. It's Krampus. It's winter. Mid-fucking winter. It's the shortest day, okay? That's the best way to think of the winter solstice. The summer solstice is the longest day, and the winter solstice is the shortest day. In America, this is the beginning of winter, but this is a midwinter holiday because now this is the shortest day. We just had the shortest day, 2 days ago, and now the days are going to get longer and longer and longer. So the days don't get shorter in the winter, they get longer and longer and longer in the winter. But that's because stars can fall into black holes. Some of them, a lot of them remain, but a lot of it gets burped right back out. But black holes can swallow stars. 99.99% of atoms are made up of empty space. So this looks like a solid object here, but it's mostly nothing. Meteorology, winter in the northern hemisphere is from December to February. So again, in some cultures, the winter solstice, Christmas Day, is the middle of winter because that's what it is. It's the most accurate, right? So it only lasts a moment. The winter solstice is just a moment. The shortest day, the day that has the shortest day, also called Dongzi, the extreme of winter, also called midwinter. That makes more sense to me because this is the shortest day, then that means the months prior and then the months right after it, right? The days are getting shorter, 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 longer, longer, longer. This is the extreme of winter. That's the worst that we just got of winter. So why do we say winter just now began? I don't know. I haven't seen much snow, so maybe we won't see any snow. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's a reason for it. It doesn't. When a hemisphere's winter solstice occurs on the day with the shortest period of daylight and the longest night of the year. What day is the shortest day? What has the longest night? That's the winter solstice. When the sun's daily maximum elevation in the sky is at its lowest, it's all part of the same thing. So the sun's daily maximum elevation in the sky is at its lowest, so it's going to get higher and higher in the sky. It's a short day, so you might be able to get some assumptions. A shorter day, there's less daylight total. So in terms of solar power, you're going to get less and less light for your solar panels. The days are a lot shorter, so you're going to have to make use of every single waking daylight. And then it gets, it's the shortest day. So it's actually it's the worst. It's the shortest. Shit's going to get longer and longer. So really, it's basically